Now, in deficiency, female reproductive system, Venus can manifest as amenorrhea, so just lack of menses, dysmenorrhea, especially excessive cramping and pain. So dysmenorrhea is going to be more of that painful menses. PMS is going to be attributed to that as well. A PMS can occur with Venus in excess as well, for sure. But Venus in deficiency, PMS can occur. It's going to be more of a moody, withdrawn, depressed type state, as opposed to a very tense, irritable, frustrated type state. So that's just what we tend to notice there. Now, this pattern is also exemplified hormonally, whereby there tends to be much more of a progesterone dominance as opposed to an estrogen dominance pattern here, which of course, along with that, tends to be a little bit more of a melancholic type pattern. With Venus deficiency, infertility is a big one here. So infertility obviously can be very complex. There's lots of factors that can be involved there, both on the man side and on the woman's side. There's a multitude of factors that complicate things, to be sure. But when we're talking about Venus deficiency, there can be, because of a strong association with the ovaries, there can be issues in regards to ovulation and implantation of the egg and things like that that can be affected there. Many remedies that I tend to think of here include a lot of the spasmolytics, especially for menstrual cramping, menstrual pain. The whole nature of the antispasmodic or spasmolytic action is inherently Venusian, because spasmolytics relax things, right? They relax tension. And the state of relaxation, as I mentioned earlier, is one of the prime characteristics of Venus. So again, herbs like viburnum, opulus, cramp bark. I personally really like the relative of cramp bark, which is Viburnum prunifolium, the common name of which is black haw. Both are nice. Both are great smooth muscle spasmolytics. I tend to like black haw a little bit more because it's interesting. It's almost paradoxical because it has a degree of relaxing effect coupled with tonifying effect. So it's like it relaxes but tonifies at the same time, which is kind of paradoxical, but I like it. It is very nice. Another great Venusian remedy here is black cohosh or Cimicifuga racemosa. Now, in the urinary tract, deficiency of Venus can lead to a generalized kidney deficiency, so lack of urination, poor nephron filtration, even leading up to potential degenerative kidney disease. High blood pressure can be associated with this as well, in that if you're not urinating, fluids are going to accumulate within the system, which is going to put more strain upon the heart, which can lead to elevated blood pressure. This is why many times people with hypertension are placed on diuretic medications to just drain those fluids out. It can generate tension in the bladder and ureters, right? Deficiency of Venus. The tissues have an inability to relax. This can lead to a greater proneness to potential stone formation, as well as, because Venus is deficient, Mars can become excessive, which can make one more prone to infection, heat, inflammation, and irritation of the urinary tract. Now, if we're talking about tension in the urinary tract, this is, I would say, probably more commonly experienced in cases of kidney stones. But many of the herbs in that category can also be just good urinary tract anodynes. They relieve pain in the urinary tract, which can certainly occur from inflammation, irritation, infection. Kava or Piper methysticum is really, really good here. I know everybody tends to think of kava as this kind of, relaxing, calming, nervine sedative. It's actually kind of a little bit of a stimulant, I find. It's like a relaxing stimulant. It's kind of odd, which is why I think it's used traditionally for social purposes, because when you're being social, how do you want to be? You want to be relaxed, calm, at ease. We also want to have like a stimulating conversation, right? So kava is really unique in that way. And that's the way a lot of folks think about kava for stress and nervousness and anxiety and things like that. But the eclectics used it really as a urinary tract spasmolytic, and it's very good here. I've seen kava really help acute cases of kidney stones. Also love other smooth muscle spasmolytics. Cramp bark, again, is nice here. Very specific one to the urinary tract that I really like as well is hydrangea or wild hydrangea, Hydrangea arborescens. Very good example of the kidney, as a venous herb, works on the kidneys and urinary tract. In that it's pain relieving, it's specific to heat, inflammation, irritation of the urinary tract, which is a excess Mars pattern, which could indicate a venous deficiency. So it's a really great remedy there. And of course, the hydrangeas are just absolutely gorgeous plants. They're really, really beautiful. Showy plants tend to be Venusian just from a morphological perspective. And then general diuretics are going to oftentimes, not always, but oftentimes correlate to Venus simply by virtue that they're acting upon the kidneys. Now, there are Saturnian diuretics, and many of those actually might be better defined as an aquaretic, which is actually occurring through mineral exchange that is causing increased urination, as opposed to directly stimulating the kidneys to a greater level of activity that causes an increase in urination. But one of my favorite Venusian diuretics is cleavers. I really like cleavers a lot for a number of reasons. It's physically very correspondent to Venus, but also on a psychospiritual level, I've found cleavers to be very Venusian.